Awesome, dude.
Alright, so people jump on. I should get a notification here in a second.
I would share it, but my Facebook's not loading.
Get on the Wi-Fi.
Is it free, Wi-Fi?
Yeah, that's my Wi-Fi. Of course it's free.
No, like, does it have like a password and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, there's the thing. Whenever you're ready, brother man.
Brother. I think this is the password. There's a different password for inside and different password for out here. There we go. Now it's live. What's up, Davey Stout? How are you, buddy? Yvette, Jam, what's up, buddy? Expect to hear from you during this show. I'm sure I will. If you like what you're seeing, like to talk about this, throw me some stars. Boy, you remember the password out here?
StudioXI 0.
Is he named his Facebook profile Jimmy Jam after Jimmy Jam Garvin?
Oh, no. Hey, Jam. Where'd Jam come from? What's up, Yvette? There you go.
Thank you.
Yvette. Where'd Jam come from, Jam? He does a horror podcast. Pretty cool. He's been on the show before. We're going to do a UFO show with him. Yeah, Drew. I lost some weight. I did. I ain't gonna say how much, but we're about 25 right now.
What's your goal?
I don't care. Look good naked. I lost some weight.
Alright.
Just kidding. What's up? Bring this home.
What's your goal?
Yeah. Marty gave you the name. Okay. Well, I guess next time I ever see Marty, which will never be ever, I'll ask her. Cool. All right, man. Y'all ready to do this?
All right. Let's do it.
All right. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
What you can do, you just do next episode in twos.
Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of the Everyday Joe Show. My host, the Travis Reed. You might have heard of me before. Crickets. Just kidding. Y'all have heard of me.
No.
Yes. All right, guys. Here we are. Tuesday night, sports edition, Studio 11. Had a good weekend over the weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about it on Thursday's show. We did the Other Fest at Common John Brewing Company. It was all over town. It was at Prater's and at Bites of Europe. Hello, Mother. And Bites of Europe had a daggum party going on. I didn't get to go. We were allocated to Common John, and we had a blast. We had a party going. But all three places really had a good weekend. Good music, good food, good people. The vibe was great. I had too many spicy pies. You ever had spicy pie pizza?
Never heard of it.
It's like Brooklyn style. They only do Music Fest. Oh, my God, man. Fabulous
I've
pizza.
had genuine deep dish from Chicago.
Yeah.
Like a mile away from Wrigley Field. That was
Spicy
pretty good.
pie. Spicy pie. You want some real good Italian, some good pizza? J&G right down the road here. Fire. Change your life, son. Change it. All right, and that voice is my guest, Ricky Ramos.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Doing good.
Good. All right. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a fruit punch Gatorade.
Yeah. Regular Gatorade or Gatorade Zero?
Regular.
Oh, man, I like the zeros.
You advertised it to me last time, I know.
Yeah, and they are...
Every time I drink a zero, it makes me want to drink more. Like I'm just more dehydrated.
It's like drinking melted Jell-O. That's what it tastes like.
Okay, I never thought of it like that.
I love it. But you can't. They're hard to find because everybody's drinking the Gatorade Zeros. Well, then they ran out, so everybody started drinking Powerade Zeros.
Yeah.
Well, now they're running out. So, like, okay, this sucks. So I can't get them. I can every now and then, but thanks for being here. I'm drinking nothing because a little story about the spicy pie the other day. Sunday night was the last day of the Other Fest, and I was like, I'm going to get me a spicy pie to take home. And this thing, dude, they're huge. Brooklyn style, big old pizzas. It was like $36. I was like, you know what?
12-inch slices?
Yeah. I was like, I'll take this thing. It's huge, man.
Oh, there was this place in Cincinnati I've ate before. It's called Goodfellas Pizza, and I ate there twice in 2 separate occasions in Cincinnati.
Yeah, no, this was...
And they had like 12-inch slices, and they were huge.
Huge. So I bring the pizza on, I put it in my car, and then I go to an after party, which is a bad idea. And then I get home at like 5 in the morning.
God.
So I'm like, man, I got to put the pizza in the fridge. Well, it will not fit in my fridge because I actually have food in there. Well, actually, it's more like Diet Sun-Drop in there. So I'm like, crap, what am I going to do? So I got to put it in the garage, and the one with the kegs in the garage. I put it in that refrigerator. It wouldn't fit in there. Wouldn't shut. I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? So eventually I had to end up cutting it into smaller pieces, put it in aluminum foil, and put it in my refrigerator because even my Tupperware would not accommodate this pizza.
That's crazy.
So when I try to put it in here, I push the keg got pushed forward towards the door, and I left the door open. So all my beer is now kind of room temperature. So I got one in the freezer now getting chilled. So because I blew the keg last week, and Common John were so busy, and they had beer going to Bonnaroo, and before it got canceled, then they had to have beer for the other fest because they were slanging beer this weekend. Holy gosh. And so I knew better to even ask for a keg. Because, I'll wait till they get, they brewed today, I know. So I'll wait till they get their stock replenished, and I'll get some more. But then I came out here to make sure I had plenty of beer, and it was room temp. I was like, oh, man. Dummy.
I have a friend of mine that drinks room temperature liquor. Including beer as well. And I'm like, I don't see I don't see why.
He likes his neat. Apparently, the way to drink Jack Daniels, you're not supposed to chill Jack Daniels. Is that what you've heard, Bull, in your times?
It all depends. If you're under 24.
Under 24?
Yeah, you can chill it.
You can chill it? But our age, we can't chill it. No. We just drink it out of the bottle. Nothing. I'm just asking a question.
No, you don't chill it. You can drink it. You can drink it
Neat.
or on the rocks.
Right. I prefer neat myself.
That's what an adult does.
I like neat myself. That's why I'm going to do it. That's how I roll. But it is what it is. So, but I'm not drinking my beer room temp. It just depends on how many I've had. So, hopefully mine will chill in a minute because I'm thirsty. That Diet Sun-Drop did not satisfy. So, guys, we're here tonight. We've not done a wrestling episode in a hot minute. We're going to do it because some humongous things have happened.
When was the last time you did it? Was I on last?
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah, probably so. Well, nothing's happened.
Yeah, last time I was whenever those signings of Marty Scurll to Ring of Honor happened.
Yeah.
And Tessa Blanchard being a racist in Japan came out.
Yeah, nothing's happened. But things have happened now.
Yes.
AEW started. I think AEW started after you were on.
Yes.
They started was it September of 2019 or October?
Well, they formed and then they didn't do anything until
Dynamite started.
Yeah,
around
in October
2019.
Yeah.
So I watched the first one. I've watched the majority of them, and I've slacked off here lately, and I've actually slacked off a lot of it because it's just. I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid, but honestly, it's got really boring.
It did get boring. Oh my goodness. So
yeah. I'd rather go watch indie shows.
Oh yeah, man.
Local shows.
Indie and local shows are just phenomenal. And then you also, everyone's gonna be like, what do you watch wrestling? Like, oh, WWE. And now when my friends tell me that, I'm like, there's so much better alternatives to watch. That's just not the same stuff over and over again.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's fresh.
Yes.
So I got tired of, and a lot of it happened with the pandemic. So it wasn't like some of their faults. Just watching the WWE in the Thunderdome didn't appeal to me very much.
No,
I didn't care for it. I still watch a little bit of it, but to me, that's one of those sporting events that needs to have
fans.
Gotta have fans.
Yes.
And one of the ones that, for me, I've seen it live, so I know how it is to be there.
Yeah.
Like hockey. I watch hockey all day long on TV now. And I did when I was a kid, but once you go to hockey, you're like, whoa, okay, I get it. Soccer, same way. Once you go to for me it was. Once I went to a soccer match, I was like, oh, I get the appeal now.
Yeah.
I understand it. NASCAR same way, drag racing same way. It all became boring, and I'm glad they still kept doing it so we had options to watch.
Yes.
But it got a
It
little...
didn't feel the same.
No, because even though they're doing it for the crowd, they do it for everybody, but they need reactions from the crowd.
Yes.
That's what they feed off of.
That's where a lot of momentums and comebacks and everything come off of. Like, it was weird watching last year's MLB season, where there was no fans at all until the championship series and the World Series. And sometimes there was so many canceled doubleheaders that one time the Mets faced the Yankees, and one made-up game the Mets were the home team.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm not going to complain about the Mets end up winning that game off a walk-off.
Who?
New York Mets.
I've never heard of her. We won't go there because the Mets suck. And are they still losing to Florida?
Oh, no, it's tied 4-4.
Okay. If they win, you're never coming back on. I was kidding. What's up, Ron Lynn Escobar? How y'all doing? Guys, a little shout out here. If y'all have not been to Kubo Grill in Manchester, go. We went there Saturday. Oh, man. Had the chicken, I think Pancit, what it's called. Phenomenal. Filipino food. Oh, my God, man. It is so good. So good. Yeah, but the crowd thing, like you said, because when you're doing a match and you're telling the story, you got to have that comeback.
You got to feed off the energy. You got to you can't
you got to time that right. You got to time that comeback right. And they I'm sure for some of the newer guys, it's kind of, they wrestle at the Thunderdome and then they wrestle in front of a crowd. They're like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Different. Because what's that big dude that's with AJ Styles?
Oh, almost.
They said Kevin Nash had to have a talk with him at WrestleMania. He's like, hey, big man, calm down. He's like, yeah, but I've never done this in front of a crowd. I've always been to the Thunderdome. And so they said Nash had to talk with him, like, hey, this. And then so he said it helped him. And Kevin Nash was like, well, I was glad to do it. Which is not Omos's fault.
Yeah, because, you get trained in the Performance Center and they don't, you're going to have wrestling in front of your peers.
Right.
And they're just going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yep. Yeah, so the crowds are important, and I think that's a lot of my issue with not watching it was because there were no crowds.
Yeah.
And I didn't, I just wasn't into it.
It made it hard to watch.
Yeah.
There was a time where I stopped watching, AEW for a period or anything specific.
Yeah, it just sometimes the skits and, the backstage vignettes were actually, I looked forward to those than I did the actual wrestling.
AEW, they had, during that period, they had their own workers on the heel side and the face on the face side, which was pretty creative. I'll give them that. But at the same time, there was Colton Gunn, Billy Gunn's son, who was just obnoxious during it all. I'm sure if I play you clips of it, during chops, he'll just yell for no reason.
Yeah.
And
I did like that they did that because they were thinking outside of a box.
Yes.
And that's what a lot of, not just sports, a lot of businesses had to do too.
Yeah. During
the pandemic. So, which we're kind of still in, but just thinking of different ways to entertain people, to take care of their customers, whatever. So I enjoyed that, and even with WWE building the Thunderdome and putting the screens, it was better than nothing. It was better than the empty arena.
Yeah.
Because the WrestleMania with nobody was bad. I couldn't. It was horrible.
If you watched Rhea Ripley and Charlotte without the screen being on, you would think it's something else.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I'm at that. Except for AJ and Taker.
That was
phenomenal.
Yes.
That was totally phenomenal. Thank you, Rodney and Lynn. Thank y'all very much for the stars, brother. Appreciate that. But yeah, I was not mad at that at all. I was like, yep, that is cool. Because, that's the way it would have been said anyway.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't expect in the crowd. And it wasn't your traditional match that had, it had a story, but the crowd didn't need a crowd to tell that story.
Yeah. I also like it, if I read on it now, they say that trash talk during that match was all improv.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is. Well, you got two of the greatest performers ever.
Yeah.
So that was great. But so, yeah, I was with you. I think I tuned out a little bit more than you did. Because you would text me about something or send me a message, and so would Jim Jam, and I'm like, I have to go back to my phone and look. What are they talking about? Oh, my God, I didn't know that happened. So that got kind of,
Like with Brody Lee's debut, his entire run with AEW before he passed away tragically was with no fans.
Yeah, that's what Jim just said. He wished Brody Lee could have debuted in front of a crowd. How awesome would that have been?
He was supposed to debut in front of a crowd in New York, in his hometown.
Yep, but the pandemic.
Oh my goodness!
I know, man.
It took away a lot.
It really did. But I was the same, dude. I kind of checked out, and you know, I would keep up, like, you know, I follow, you know, a lot of wrestling stuff on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, and that's fine. You know, on Instagram, I, you know, follow the wrestlers or, you know, the performers and stuff. But it just never was the same.
Yeah.
So then they kind of opened back up, and I caught myself actually paying a little bit more attention than I was. I'm still not back to where I was, but I'm getting close. Because AEW, when they announced it, and when they did, the first one was called All Out, right? Or All In?
First, well, they did All In Chicago, and then, like, that was before AEW was made.
Right.
And then they did All Out, and then they did, I think Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah, Fight for the Fallen, right.
Which was free on Bleacher Report.
Yeah, I watched that one. So it intrigued me a lot because you had these other names that you've heard of.
Yeah.
But names you've not necessarily got to see. You know, we've seen Cody before, and we've seen Jared. Of course, we've seen Jared Goat, as I like to call him. We've seen him before, and Double or Nothing. There you go, Jim. That was one of the first ones. And you saw, you've seen Scorpio Sky and Kazarian and those guys. I've seen those in TNA.
Yeah.
And Chris Daniels, you've seen him everywhere. I can't believe man's still wrestling. So it had some name. For me, it had name recognition.
Yes.
You know, and of course, you know, if you're a
casual,
WWE. A little bit above casual, you've heard of Kenny Omega.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So that's who got me back into wrestling.
Right. What's up, Erica?
Around 2015, between 2013 and 2015, I was just out of it. Like, I was just mainly following wrestling, so I could just get ideas for my wrestling figures. Like, it was just that extreme for me to play with them. Or I would just pop in an old ECW tape.
I got a bunch of those, man. I got a bunch of those ECW tapes.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. It was because when I saw Kenny Omega, and I started getting on YouTube watching some of his matches, I'm like, oh, this dude's bad.
Yeah.
You know, this guy is really, really good.
Yes.
So there was more name recognition that I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't got to watch his, a lot. I watched a few of his promos and, some of his matches and stuff, and it was great. But get to see him every week, I was like, okay, let's see what this guy's about.
Yes.
And then, of course, one of my favorites, I'd heard the name. I've seen the Bullet Club T-shirt. Hangman Adam Page. I first saw him, I was like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
I'm rolling with that dude right there, man. So I was excited about that. And they had, Jericho, which when I first heard of him was in ECW. He only wrestled a couple matches there.
Well, he was TV champion there.
Yeah, but he wasn't there. He was there for a cup of coffee. We'll say. So, when he went to WCW, I was like, oh, man, not this guy. He's Lionheart, and he's, yeah, baby, yeah. I'm like, oh, God, man.
Got himself over.
Yeah, he did, but then he wrestled Alex Wright, and Alex Wright got hurt, and Jericho didn't want to take the win. I'm like, oh, and I know it's, it was to make him a babyface.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't like it.
And then he ended up getting Ralphus.
Then he got Ralphus, and then he started doing the crazy hair thing, and then the Jericho's this 4,000 holds or whatever it was.
Yeah,
with the
4,001 holds.
Yeah,
and he named Armbar like 4 different times.
Armbar.
He had old fax paper.
Yeah, I loved it, man. So then I was like, man, I like how he's doing that. And just his evolution.
Yeah.
Of his character, and I'm going somewhere with this because he debuted in '99 on Raw.
Yeah.
And you saw the countdown, and I'm like, what is this? And then you, pause it, and then you look up the day, when? Because it's almost, the year 2000, so you're like.
Yeah, Y2K, right?
Yeah, you're like, what's going on here? And then it happens in, was it May or something like that? And then he comes out, and I was like, whoa, it's Jericho. And his debut was phenomenal.
Yeah, against The Rock.
Yeah, I mean, that's big time.
Yeah.
Because he was one of the formidable stars at that time. He was a dude could I think at that time Rock was already going into mainstream without really being all the way in mainstream. So that was interesting to me. And then he would he just every time he would leave and come back, he changed himself. He'd have different tights, different haircut, different ring entrance, different ring jacket. Then he started wearing the suit, and then we had the list. I'm like, this guy is a genius.
Yes.
So, but his debut on Raw that night, 99. Were you even born yet?
If it was in October, yes.
Get out of line. So you didn't get to experience it live. I was in my living room. Actually, it was my buddy Josh's living room. And it went off, and we saw the Jericho. And you know where he got that from?
Yeah, from Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. That's
in,
right.
Mexico City.
Yeah. And good job, son. I feel like you're going to beat me on a lot of those little things tonight. But I'm gonna pull some out that you may not know. But he did that, and the pop that Jericho got, I was extremely happy for that he got that pop.
Yeah.
Because I always liked his work. Even though when he was the white meat babyface, back in WCW, he could go. Like him and Guerrero wrestling. We watched, I think it was Starrcade '96 in the Municipal Auditorium in Nashville. And him and, is that or Clash of the Champions the next year?
Clash of Champions, because I think 96 was held somewhere else.
No, 96 was there. I was there.
Sting and Hogan?
No, Jericho and Guerrero wrestled.
No. It was main event Sting and Hogan, right?
That was 97. That was in Baltimore.
Piper and
It was
Hogan.
Piper and Hogan, because the fan jumped the ring and Hogan kicked that dude's chest through his spine. It was amazing. DiBiase started beating the crap out of the guy. But I was a fan of Jericho, and the pop he got when he came out, I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Because his mic skills
are phenomenal.
Through the roof, man.
Through the roof.
Yes.
To the moon.
That's right. Hanging from the rafters. That's right. Got a question, right? Jim Jam wants to know, what's your favorite version of Jericho?
Favorite version?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would probably have to say whenever he was undisputed champion, or when he held both titles.
Yeah, I like that one.
That was probably my favorite version. Yeah, his match with The Rock is underrated.
Very. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm gonna toss up when he had the lighted jacket. That was pretty cool.
Or
Painmaker was, I like Painmaker though.
Oh, Painmaker's pretty cool.
Yeah,
they're finally making a Painmaker figure, and it's pretty cool.
Good. I like Painmaker. So there you go, Jim Jam. So to me, that was a pretty big debut.
Yeah.
Okay, in '99. What other? Because we're getting to we're going somewhere with this. What other big debut other than what just happened? Can you remember that? Because I know you went back and watched all the wrestling there is.
Yeah.
Because you and your dad, humongous wrestling fans.
Yes.
What is one debut you saw either way, WCW, WWE, that was one of your favorites when it happened?
One I watched live was AJ Styles' debut, which they could have definitely used a different camera angle for, instead of zooming in on Roman's confused face.
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna sound weird, but one for me is Jericho when he debuted in New Japan on the Videotron, wanting a match against Omega.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, New Japan's hours are obviously way different than ours. They're like 15 hours ahead of us, I think, and I watched it the very next morning. I will always wake up like extra early the very next day so I can see the results as they happen. And I saw that, and I was like, oh, my God, like, this is crazy. Like, what's going to happen? Because it was at their December pay-per-view, and he just got done working this, like, it was an easy match. I think it was against Ricky Ramos or something like that, because he ended up keeping his shirt on Omega. And all of a sudden, Jericho challenged him.
I like it when he, I like that. I can agree with that, the Painmaker that was... Or not the paint, but when he did it on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
The thing about, like, when I was younger, like, when Steve Austin came to WWF at the time, he was the ringmaster. So me and my buddies were sitting around watching, and we're going, that's stunning Steve Austin.
Yeah.
We're just confused. Like, what is it? And then, you had Mark Marrow show
Johnny
up.
B. Bad.
Yeah, you show he was Johnny Bad, then shows up Mark Marrow like the next week at Raw. You're like, what? Didn't he just lose to Arn Anderson last week? What is this? So it wasn't the big ones, but so for me, I guess some of the big ones of a debut would probably be Scott Hall coming into WCW.
Yeah.
That was because my buddy. This this was early on. You know, the internet was probably around, but not like it is now. And he kept telling me, he's like, dude, you know, because he always knew I was a big Kevin Nash fan. I was a Diesel fan from way back. And he said, hey, man, you know, they're coming to WCW. I said, no, they're not. He's like, yeah, they are. I said, no, dude, that ain't happening. It ain't happening. And I didn't know about the curtain call yet. So I didn't get the internet till like
you
mid-2000s.
You also thank the curtain call for Stone Cold Steve Austin's Austin 316 promo.
That's exactly right.
Because Triple H was still in it that year.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. So I guess Hall and then when Nash came in, and you're like, okay, that was a pretty good debut.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody was confused. Because now the internet is such, you know things before they're going to happen, which I actually don't like. I like to be surprised.
So I know what we're getting to here. I know what we're getting to here, but I heard rumblings, but I didn't know any of it.
Yeah.
Like
of both
major ones.
Well, I did because I would text you and like, is this real?
Yeah.
Yep, it's real. I text Jim, hey man, is this real? Or he texts me, and I'm like, what? Jim makes a good point. The Hardys coming back to WrestleMania was amazing.
Yes, I will.
And I'm not a Hardy Boys fan at all.
I will attain. I am not a Hardy's fan. Not a fan of them at all. Never cared for them. I like their stuff. You know, I was always a huge fan of the TLC matches and their.
Oh yeah, those were phenomenal.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
Or the tables match against the Dudleys at Royal Rumble 2000 and Madison Square Garden. I like that one a lot. Oh, speaking of. That just made me remember of Taz's debut in Madison Square Garden against Kurt Angle.
That was good. That was pretty good. I was always a Taz.
I always
guy.
get goosebumps by that one.
Yeah, I was more of a triple threat guy in ECW though. Bam Bam Candido and franchise Shane Douglas.
You can't go wrong with the franchise.
That's right. Which I don't like that Cena does that now.
Yeah,
like that's triple threat, dude. That's not that ain't John Cena. That's triple threat. Anyway, so those are our favorite debuts, you know, the actual, you know, coming to there for the first time.
Would you say Scott Steiner's debut in 2002 was first time, or
no? They were there in the late 80s, early 90s.
Well, I know that. Well, this was like he was only there for like a year in WWE.
Yeah,
their first night, Rick Steiner will say, their first night was whenever Nails beat up Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, nah.
Well, I mean, Scott Steiner was over when he came out, and he destroyed Kristen Winsky and Matt Hardy.
He was, but still, Scott Steiner.
He still should have had a world title run.
Well, if he wasn't such a...
Well, you don't know why, right?
Huh?
They are like, take drug tests. He's like, have Triple H take one.
Oh, yeah. I know all about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, nope. So,
no thank
none
you.
of them are going to pass it back then, man.
Yeah.
None of them. So, there's a term, I know you know what it is, called a Road Warrior pop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the guys, people that are watching and listening, the Road Warrior pop, Road Warriors were a very, 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 very popular tag team in the 80s and the 90s. Even though they were bad guys, people still cheered for them because they had the leather and the spikes and the face paint and the crazy haircuts.
Just the intimidation factor.
Huge. Their thing on WWE Network is I actually rented it from Netflix on disc way back when. It's phenomenal. It's old school, but it is really good.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I should have worn my dang Road Warrior shirt, but it was when they came out, especially when they were babies.
God.
Dude, the pop was huge, guys. This is like the Beatles walking out, Elvis walking out. The roof would come off the building.
Yeah.
So, and I always heard that, and I knew what people were talking about when they say Road Warrior pop. But when Flair came back to get when they inducted him to the WWE Hall of Fame when he was with TNA, he went because they
inducted the Horseman.
Because they loaned Christian to TNA for that, and then had Flair for a couple of days and Christian or whatever. So on the next night on Raw, Flair's in the gorilla position, and he goes to walk out, and he turns and looks at somebody. He said, "Man, I hope this is a Road Warrior pop." And I was like, "Wait a minute, okay, this is one of the most recognized faces in professional wrestling sports ever."
Yeah, even in pop culture, people know him.
Ever. My buddy ate lunch with another day in Florida. Well, that same restaurant, like across the bar. Anyway, so for Ric Flair to say, "I hope I get a Road Warrior pop," Like, that's giant. This
Yes.
is Ric Flair.
Yeah, the man.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, okay, that means something.
Yes.
So, we roll back about a week and a half ago now.
Oh, yes.
So we're going
About 2 weeks. About 2 weeks.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago. Rumors been circulating.
Just on a rumor. Nothing confirmed.
No, nothing. Because I think we've had a few short conversations about it. Me and Jim have. About, is he coming? Is he coming? Man, I don't know. The rumors are saying yes. I got the same answer from both you guys. Same answer from my UPS guy, Matt Carter. Same thing. Man, that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. Like, well, I guess we'll see. And then it happens. Wow.
Do you watch it live?
I did not.
I watched it live.
I don't remember what I was doing.
Oh, you're probably drunk.
Probably.
I watched it live, and it was 9 o'clock at night. Rampage is a weird start time. It's 9 after SmackDown.
Right.
Because they don't want to they don't want that low ratings with dealing with SmackDown.
Smart.
Yeah, really smart. But they introduced everything. They did their average show startup, and then they just panned over the crowd for like 2 minutes to chant CM Punk.
Yeah.
And then In Chicago.
His hometown.
And all of a sudden you hear the TV static, and then Cult of Personality start, and then it starts playing. The crowd is just losing their mind, and then out he steps. And
I don't know when I've heard a pop like that in a long time. I'll be honest with you.
I can agree with you there.
Maybe Stone Cold pop when he returned from one of these neck surgeries, or when he came back from taking his ball and going home, so to speak.
I would say whenever he helps Team WWE against the Alliance, when he just stunned everybody.
Yeah, that's a pretty big pop.
Yeah.
But dude, that pop CM Punk guy. Because when he walks out, there was have you seen the backstage footage of this?
I have not. I should have watched it when it came
UPS guy was telling me, Cornette put it on his Twitter feed, that they're behind the camera, or behind the curtain, and the camera guy's panning on Punk, and he's looking, you can hear the CM Punk, and he's just like, really? Of course he knows it for him, but he's like, I think the way Matt, I haven't seen it yet, but Matt described to me, he said that he thinks that Punk was shocked. Like,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like, he was like, holy cow. Because he seems like he doesn't really keep up with social media that much.
Yeah.
Like, enough. Like, he knows he's famous. He knows what he is.
Yeah, he knows that so it's going to sound weird. He knows that people know who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he tries to downplay it a little bit, and I guess to hear that, and plus it's his hometown, so you probably you got a little soft spot in your heart. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
And then he come out and he's kind of looked around, and you, to me, when I watched it, I could see it in his eyes, like, okay, this was a good decision.
Yes.
They really did miss me. They didn't. This isn't just people wanting somebody to come back for the sake of coming back. These guys miss me. And then the cat out in the crowd crying. Did you hear what they did? That Tommy Dreamer got a hold of that guy and everything? Oh, yeah. And he's like, I don't want any. No. That would be kind of embarrassing. But dude, that pop, like, it made. I was upset that I didn't get to watch it live. I was like, man, I can't believe I get to see that. Because that's one of those moments. I don't care. It's wrestling, still sports entertainment, still entertainment. It's sports. I love it. It's, suspension of disbelief for 2 hours. Make me think you're actually beating that guy up. That's your job. It's just like any other TV show. Make me think that.
Make me believe and feel that this is real.
Yes. But when he came out and they were just losing their minds, that was real.
Yes.
And that was one of the, if not the best debut pop that I've heard. Now, I think your dad said that his favorite was Ric Flair on Primetime Wrestling. That was a good one. I do agree with that. Bobby Heenan did present him, the greatest manager of all time. But Punk coming out and that reaction was unreal. Just unreal, man. I was... Jimmy said he's tearing up right now. It gave me, watching the replay, it gave me cold chills.
Yeah, I watched. So the very next day and like throughout the week, I watched just the replay of it, of that, and the crowd singing Chris Jericho's theme to him when he's coming out against MJF.
That was next. You already read my mind. So,
I
before we go there,
okay.
guys, if y'all have not watched Punk come out on AEW, and first of all, if you've not watched AEW,
What are you doing?
yeah, they're not.
What are
Go
you
watch
doing?
AEW. It's really good.
Yes.
I mean, they do some silly stuff, but it's wrestling. They're all going to do silly
Oh my
stuff. That's
God.
what it's for.
My
Soap
dad,
operas do silly
Dad
stuff.
hates it.
What?
Every time Orange Cassidy does the entire kick deal.
My daughter loves Orange.
I mark out for it. I
It's
will
so
tell you this.
absurd that it's
I
awesome.
don't even care. It's amazing. His figure they came out with, you could even put his hands in his pockets.
See, that's marketing genius.
Like, it is amazing. But even whenever he did it with Sting that one time, I'm not too sure if you saw it when he did it with Sting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Sting doing it back.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. That was great
Yeah,
TV.
when him Sting did it.
Yeah, that's
And,
great TV.
Like, I'm over here marking out in the chair, and Dad's just looking at me like, what in the world's wrong with you? And I'm like, this is great.
It's hilarious.
It is. You have no idea how
And
great this
the
is.
thumbs up.
Just,
Man, it is. The first time I saw it, I was like, before AEW was a thing, I saw Orange Cassidy on YouTube or whatever, and I was like, what is somebody's like rocking him to sleep? I'm like, what is
oh
this?
my God, Cotton Belly.
This is
Gosh.
stupid. But then I see, because I didn't have any context with it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I just saw somebody rocking, I was like, this is dumb. But then I see it when he comes out and when he wrestles, and dude can go.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you know, that's just part of his stick, his character. But dude can flat out go. And I'm with you, man. I love Orange Cassidy. But yes, I was telling somebody this the other day. They were sending me some songs, and I was sending her a song, and she's like, "Is that Chris Jericho?" I was like, "Just listen to that." She listened to it, and I told her the story about the stipulation with, and she's not a wrestling fan, but I'm like, "Look, I'm gonna nerd out for a second. Just humor me for a minute."
Yeah.
And I told her about the stipulation of the match where he cannot have his entrance music, so people couldn't sing. Well, when he came out, the people sang the whole song.
People sang to him, and as soon as they started it, I got cold bumps, cold chills. People call it different things. Cold chills. I will sit here and tell you that. And then that same week to have Punk debut was just amazing for the wrestling business because it's already pretty cool whenever the fans sing you out.
Yes,
That is just amazing.
that is, and it to me it solidifies because they do it if he's heel or baby.
Yes.
They do it either
regardless
way.
of the fact.
And I like it that when he comes out and they're singing, even though he's heel, he's smiling.
Yes.
And the
'cause
whole
he just,
the whole inner circle is like, this is actually pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
you got
Sammy Guevara,
yeah, I don't know.
Hager, Proud
nope.
and Powerful.
The other guys, the tag team.
Proud and Powerful. Santana Ortiz.
Yep, them two. Is that what they're calling themselves? Say, you gotta. He's gonna have to bring me along. I ain't watched it in a little bit.
Yeah, this is a Carrie show for here.
It is. That's right. I don't like them. I don't like their work. I don't like that the short one
Ortiz.
wears the
Overalls?
the toed shoes.
Yeah.
I hate those things. I hate them almost as bad as I hate Crocs. And I cannot stand Crocs. They are the dumbest shoe ever. Yeah, don't wear them in my house. And he's wearing those, and I just can't take him serious. I'm like, dude, no, we not. DDP can wear them because DDP, he just,
Yeah.
that's fine. But no, that's it. But those two guys, because their characters are so, and they're good workers though. Don't get me wrong. But their characters are so they're pretty intense. You know, they do a really good job, and they are they're kind of cracking a smile, like, dude, we're heels, and these guys are singing this guy's song, and they're hitting it word for word, note for note, dude. And I sent her, and then I sent her the YouTube clip. I was like, hey, watch this. And she was like, oh my God, that is crazy. And I was like, isn't that amazing? Amazing.
It's beautiful.
And it's great. It's a good song anyway.
Yes.
It's a very good song. So, Punk's debut, huge. That's why we went him first, because that thing was giant.
Astronomical.
It is. Hanging from the rafters. Ah, that beer was cold. Drinking Golden Tops tonight. I couldn't do it earlier. Fine Pilsner beer. You know how I know it's a fine Pilsner beer?
How so?
It says so on the can.
Smart man.
That's right, with my James Storm koozie. My favorite hugs the can very well. So huge. We had to get that out of the way. Gigantic. I mean, unbelievable. Good for him. Good for AEW.
Yes.
Bad for WWE. That's their fault. Screw
Oh
that.
well.
Yeah, hate it.
Punk even said that they've tried to like have talks with him and have him come back, and Punk just described it as that they were just playing games.
They're just trying to keep him out of Jacksonville. All right, so was one Bryan Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan, in the WWE. So he debuts on Sunday.
Yeah. So we have to rewind that back a little bit.
Okay. Well, let's rewind. That's fine.
So we have to rewind that back. So Omega says that no one can beat him, and the only people that can beat him are Tier, are retired, or already dead. So the reason why he mentioned the dead part, because the Young Bucks did their own little video series called BTE, Being the Elite. Whenever Adam Cole left to go to WWE, NXT, they killed him off on it. And so they mentioned, he has to be dead. And then once his contract was up, the Bucks on Twitter, did 9 different YouTube links of how to do seances.
I missed this.
And so I thought it was just a troll game and thought nothing of it. And then all of a sudden the lights go out and you see Adam Cole in the Titantron. And I didn't like Cole because he left for NXT. He was supposed to feud with Omega, and they didn't do it. And I just lost all my respect for him. I will say he was over big time, and he's a phenomenal worker. And then he gets in the ring, super kicks Jungle Boy, and then he gets kisses on each side by the Bucks, their signature deal.
Yeah, I saw that picture today, as a matter of fact.
And then they're just beaten down, and all of a sudden you hear Flight of Valkyrie, and then Bryan Danielson steps out, and he clears the ring, and then there's a standoff with Lucha Express, Christian, and Danielson, and on the other side were Omega, Cole, and the Bucks. And then Cole, Omega